This is our fortress. This is where the dreams lost to death will be realized, and forces that seem immutable will crumble. This exile may be of our own making, but it is through isolation that we change the course of a war. Cato Albus, Patriarch.
Get down. Don't let the guards see you.
Make way for a new batch of prisoners!
That's the Albus banner flying over those doors. I came to this hidden fortress expecting Daedric portals or a cult performing ritual sacrifice, not a noble family like the Albuses kidnapping soldiers. I prefer meeting allies, but I will fight you if you're with them.
With who? The Albus family?
I'll take that as a no. Soldiers from every alliance are disappearing across Cyrodiil. Their trails lead here. The Alliance generals think they have a deserter problem, but at this scale, no. The Albuses are killing the missing soldiers.
Killing the soldiers? Why?
I'm not sure yet. I have coin and I'm a capable battle mage, but I'd rather not take on an entire noble family with little preparation. The Albuses must be stopped before more soldiers disappear. Are you with me?
Yes, I'll help you stop the Albus family.
The Albus family is killing these soldiers. They're powerful and cruel. I trained with Cato Albus's nephew Vanderallen in the Battle Spire, and he buried nearly everyone he dueled. Clear a path to those doors. I can keep watch.
What else can you tell me about the Albus family?
Vanderallen told us stories of his family's glorious past. They served as advisors and confidants to important figures. He always seemed upset that they fell to minor nobility, which makes their absence from the noble circles worth note.
Why do you say that?
Most nobles, especially the ones looking to gather more power and rebuild the glory of their ancestors, tend to sponsor a festival every now and again. But the Albuses haven't done that since Vanderallen left the Spire.
Do you know why he left?
It was a while ago. I remember being glad that I wouldn't have to spar with him again. Vanderallen kept his own counsel, but I know being pulled from training upset him. He sobbed as he passed through the gates.
How did you know the kidnappers were here?
A lot of scouting, thinking, and more sneaking behind soldiers than a trained battle mage wants to admit. I knew if I followed one squad stationed in Cyrodiil for long enough, then something would happen. I was right.
No one saw you following them?
I started training for missions like this when I was 10. I'm more than prepared. Besides, the Albus scouts were very focused on their targets. I don't think they even knew I was nearby.
You mentioned the Battle Spire. What is it?
Knowledge of the Empire really is fading. It's a fortress where the Imperial battle mages live and train. Our number is dwindling. Most potentials would rather join a guild or fight for their alliance than face initiation.
Is the initiation that intimidating?
Many potentials don't survive it. I hope that solving this mystery will prove that I am ready to take the trial. But we'll see.
You haven't taken the trial?
I still have to complete several missions before they'll consider letting me take the initiation trial. Don't worry about me. Even if I'm not a full-fledged battle mage, I can handle myself. There's no time for the subtle way. Let's go. They locked the gate. We'll have to find another way through.
Help! There's an executioner. They blame us for Caecilius' death. We don't know who that is!
Why keep you alive? Doesn't matter. Stop the executions. I'll free the prisoners. I refuse to leave these prisoners to their fate. This could be their only chance to leave these foul cells. No one will come to aid them should we fail, and I can't abide that. You go on ahead. I'll see what I can do about opening these doors.
These are the orders that have come down from Lord Cato. 1. Separate the soldiers from the generals. 2. Interrogate all prisoners for details of their ties to nobility. 3. Soldiers and those with no useful connections for our cause can be executed by any of the prison guards. Save the rest for Executioner Gerency. 4. No need to feed the prisoners. 5. Do not send any condolence letters until a fortnight after the prisoner was executed. 6. Condolence letters must use only the approved text. 7. Do not tell new recruits about your work. Follow these instructions and our cause will quickly gather enough support to see Caecilius's dream through. If any one of you deviates from the instructions above, you could jeopardize everything we stand for.
Weep for the bodyguard who failed to protect. It wasn't his fault.
You decide. Remember that. Caecilius, I'm sorry I failed you.
He had a duty, but could not see it through. I will not allow the same to happen to me.
Who dares interrupt, but cannot avenge my son without these deaths?
You'll die here, like the rest of these dogs. No trial, no mercy. Death loom! There will be no trial.
Intruders! You deserve pain!
It's time we were rid of you. No one escapes justice. You're going to ruin everything. Your fate is sealed. You're barely worth the effort.
Toy with them.
God, to me! There's nowhere to run here.
Our cause is just.
Your interferences go too far. Your death loom!
Kill them already!
We will not be separated. We will never make it out of here. Give in and give up! You've been sentenced. Accept it! This fight is stale.
Laggards! Enemies of peace! Reprobates! I do this for Caecilius! Nobles won't stop this war until they feel the pain of loss!
Caecilius? Oh no, I know why Cato started this. I knew that name sounded familiar. Caecilius was Cato's son and heir. He must have died on the battlefield. If his death pushed Cato to this cause, then that's what Cato's doing too. Using these soldiers to turn the nobility against the war.
How will killing their loved ones convince the noble houses to join Cato's cause?
He's not daft enough to tell the nobles that he's behind these deaths. Soldiers disappear all the time. Perhaps the alliances say that these soldiers died in battle. Then Cato steps in and gives their families a cause to fight for.
So he kills soldiers and blames the alliances.
He must be better at it than we think. Look around. There are more guards here than one noble family can employ. We have to press on. If Cato thinks he's avenging his son, he will never stop on his own.
Did you get all the prisoners out?
I opened every occupied cage I could find. They should all be on their way out of the redoubt and back to their respective armies as we speak. I have their word that they won't attack each other.
You believe them?
I believe how injured they are. Cato's guards tortured the soldiers for information on their family ties. The Albuses kept soldiers with useful allegiances alive until they verified their claims.
So they kept the prisoners alive just to execute them?
The soldiers thought there was a strict timeline to these events. To what end? I do not know. Cato Albus is eccentric, but he has his reasons for all of this. We just need to figure out what they are.
Dear family, the loss of a child is a hardship that no parent should ever endure. If you should need a sympathetic friend, please keep us in mind. This dreadful war has taken your future and given you only sorrow in return. This is not what was promised to us by the leaders of our alliances. The deaths caused by this accursed conflict outweigh the security of rebuilding the Empire. Senseless destruction is not good for any of the people of Tamriel, not when it costs the lives of our children. It is too early for anyone in your position to do anything but grieve for your child. But should you feel the same as we do, we urge you to join us in Cyrodiil when you are ready. Cato Albus.
Ugh, they locked the next door. Hope you don't mind taking a plunge. Feel that? We're being magically surveilled. I don't like being watched, magically or not. The Albuses know we're here by now, but whoever is behind this is learning about us. They're getting an unfair advantage. Still, there's only one way to go. After you. Let's separate. You find out where this path goes. I'll investigate that magic.
Weep for the teacher who taught peace, but never stopped fighting.
Face the cost of success. Treasure nothing. Look at what your wars waste. Your greed distracts you. This feeling, peace at last. It's all glittering garbage.
I get it now. Peace is worth fighting for.
I always knew that I was destined for greatness. My superior intellect, cunning, and the mystery of my upbringing mirrors that of the great magicians of old. My parents were too frightened of my abilities to raise me. I still remember their fear. My own parents said I was dangerous. They called me a monster and locked me away when my anger summoned storms. For years, that was all I knew, that locked, tiny room. Until my uncle came to visit. He took me away from the house which sought to stifle my powers and brought me to one of lightheartedness. Where before I only experienced ridicule and fear, Uncle Cato said I was a genius. He praised me for my talents, allowed me to share Caecilius's tutors and eat at their table. Those were the happiest years I had, though they did not last as long as I hoped. My uncle had a plan for me. When it became clear that my tutors had reached the limits of their knowledge, he sent me to the battle spire. The time away from his household was difficult, but I knew that there was reason for it. I was going to become a battle mage, one of an elite force that would bring recognition and honor to my uncle's house. Here, finally, I was able to repay him for saving me. My skills and renown would rebuild the Albus's reputation and allow them to rejoin the highest noble houses in all Tamriel. That was the plan. Caecilius's death changed all that. So now I am here, a counselor of war and the strategist behind the Albus family's rise to power. The cousin to a slain optimist and nephew to a haunted man. Not a battle mage, but a sorcerer of unparalleled skill regardless. I continue to rise above my own expectations. Caecilius was not meant for war, but I was. I can do what he could not. I will never forget him. I cannot when everything we do is in his memory. Hopefully, the war Cato and I wage on the alliances will bring him peace in the afterlife.
Vander Allen, I should have guessed that was your magic.
You think you can stop me? You never succeeded in the Spire. The war for your precious empire killed innocents.
You're murdering kidnapped soldiers. Why are you even going along with Cato's plan?
Cato's son died under a diplomatic banner. The alliances must end. No one can stop us. You stand no chance.
Don't underestimate me, Vander Allen.
No one obstructs the Albus family.
We learned to control Atronox's children!
Be consumed by the darkness! I am undefeated.
Those spiders are a problem. This will stop them.
Black is the beast! Curse them! I'll trample any who stand in my way.
Lure them into my storm!
Taste our suffering! I control the battlefield.
Atronox are not immune to the cold.
Feel what Cato feels! Burn under my hooves!
Spiders can't withstand the storm!
Let pain descend! Fall to your weakness. You will suffer.
I remember hearing about the diplomatic mission Vander Allen mentioned. Generals from each alliance went to peace talks, convinced it was a trap. They killed everyone. Caecilius must have been there. After the peace talk scandal that killed Caecilius, I heard the alliances banded together to write each affected family an apology. Whatever they wrote wasn't enough for Cato Albus or Vander Allen.
How could the generals confuse peace workers for spies?
For all the plans and tactics involved, war is messy. Spies are everywhere, provided your opponent has golden means. It's natural for soldiers to be suspicious. Not that explanations have any effect on grief.
So one mistake in a war led to all of this?
Grief is a strange and powerful motivator. No two people suffer the same pains, but it can be a powerful uniting force. I don't doubt that the Albuses can garner favor, sympathy, and convince other nobles to join their cause this way.
How do you know so much about grief?
We suffered a lot of tragedies in the Spire. I know the feeling. There are times when the pain barely affects you, and others. I don't know if I understand Cato, but I know that a death can be more than the loss of one life.
How well did you know Vander Allen?
Better than he knew me. We were in the same training groups at the Battle Spire, so I had to duel, study, and eat next to him for years. I cheered when he left the Spire.
When was that?
I didn't mark the day in my journal. Most potentials remove themselves from the Spire. But I remember hearing that his uncle demanded he return home. That must have been when Cato's son died.
Why did Vanderalen train at the Battle Spire, but not Caecilius?
I don't know. Maybe Caecilius didn't have the magical aptitude necessary to train there? I heard that Cato Albus is as powerful a mage as Vanderalen was. Perhaps their magical talent drew them together after Caecilius' tragic demise.
Sorrow's the only thing that remains. Weep for a mother destroyed by love.
No one is supposed to be here! You don't belong here! No one understands what it's like. Die! He's gone. I don't understand it. Get out! I forgot his smile. Feel my pain! Caecilius, are you near? I can't feel him anymore.
Mother's fate waits for father. I am the cause. I can stop it.
My darling boy, with each passing day more and more of you fades from the world. I have already forgotten what your smile looked like, how your hair shone in the sun, and a dozen other nothings that suddenly mean everything to me. You've been gone for so long that there are days when the pain of your loss no longer cripples me, but I miss it. I miss the grief. Without that sorrow, it is almost as if you were never here, and that frightens me. After your passing, I received countless letters talking about how the pain shall evaporate. Now that it is mostly gone, I want nothing more than for it to return in full. I will hold on to as much of your memory as I can. I can do that at least.
That power. It feels like a monsoon. What magic is Cato gathering in there?
Cato! It's over! Stop this madness!
I will not rest until the Alliance armies burn! They will pay for my son's death!
I'll work on breaking this ward. You take care of the Atronach. Keep the fight away from me. Watch that firework! This arena is getting very cluttered. One of you needs to withstand the frost. Don't forget the shock orb. Nearly there. Finally! The ward's down. I'm going after Cato.
I'm sorry about your son, Cato, but I can't let you kill anyone else. He can use the death of his son as an excuse, but plenty of parents feel grief. None of them kidnap and kill other people's sons and daughters.
What will you do to him?
He committed crimes against every army in Cyrodiil. He will stand and answer for his actions. It's only a matter of figuring out which alliance to bring him to. That will be my duty. Take this, and leave knowing you saved lives here.
be restrained!
Father, not like this. Not anymore.
I'm not certain I believe what I just saw. Did the specter of Cato's son appear to you too?
I saw Caecilius.
Why did he only appear now? If he intervened before, a lot of soldiers wouldn't have died. He could have stopped this, but he didn't.
He couldn't. His spirit was confused, but I think I helped him remember himself.
That makes some sense. Caecilius seemed to want to end this entire affair peacefully, which aligns with how Cato spoke of him. Thankfully, it looks like Caecilius managed to calm his father. I'm sure I can get him to stand trial now.
That's still the plan for Kate Albus?
Of course. He wronged so many for so long. I can't allow him to go unpunished, no matter the reason behind his actions. He doesn't look like he'll fight me anymore. And now that we have him secured, I can monitor his magic. He won't surprise me.